You ever see a photo and it just hits you? There's this power to it that goes way beyond what's actually in the frame. Some images, they just feel timeless, like they pull you right in. So what is that secret ingredient? Let's get into it. Okay, just look at this. It's called The Silence of Nothing by a photographer named Andy Anderson. It's so moody, right? Cinematic. It feels like a single frame from some classic movie. You can almost feel the cold air, hear that total quiet. But notice what's missing. There's no color. It's all black and white, but somehow it feels incredibly rich, just packed with story.
So that kind of begs the question, doesn't it? We're so used to thinking that color is everything in a picture. But what if there's something else, something more powerful, that creates the mood, the depth, and all the drama?
Well, the answer is a little concept called value. It's basically the secret language of light and dark, and it's the real key to understanding why some images just stick with you.
And honestly, there's no better person to walk us through this than the guy who took that first photo, Andy Anderson. His work is a total masterclass in using light and shadow to tell these really powerful human stories.
And what's so cool about his story is that he wasn't one of those people who was born with a camera in his hand. His path was, well, it was anything but typical.
I mean, his journey is just remarkable. He starts out studying journalism, but feels kind of lost, so he joins the Air Force and becomes a firefighter for 20 years. It wasn't until he was 28 that his wife gave him a camera, and that one gift just changed everything. And get this, in the 90s, while he was still an active-duty firefighter, he becomes the very first staff photographer for Men's Journal. He was juggling two full-time, high-stakes careers, shooting these huge stories on his days off. Incredible.
So how on earth did he do it? Well, in his own words, it all comes down to two things: obsession and curiosity. For him, this wasn't just some side gig. It was this deep, driving passion that just pushed him to master his craft, completely on his own terms.
And the absolute cornerstone of that craft, that secret language he mastered, is value. So what exactly is it?
Okay, so at its core, value is really just about how light or dark something is in a picture. But it's so much more than just brightness. I mean, this is a tool that painters like Rembrandt and Caravaggio were using centuries ago. It's how those different shades give us clues about shape and form, and maybe most importantly, how they carry all that emotional weight. You can kind of break it down into two main flavors. You've got high-key images, the ones that are mostly bright and airy. They tend to feel positive, calm, upbeat. And then on the flip side, you have low-key images. These are dominated by shadows and dark tones, and they create that sense of drama or suspense or intimacy. This is the foundation of movie making, from old film noir to today's biggest dramas.
And here you can see it perfectly. On the left, you've got this high-key shot of a bird in the snow. It feels so open and peaceful. Then, on the right, a low-key portrait of Jane Goodall. Wow, those deep shadows, that one focused point of light, it creates this incredible sense of wisdom, of intimacy. It's the same tool, value, just used to create two completely different feelings.
And this is why a lot of artists will tell you that value is even more important than color. You know, color is what grabs our attention, but value? Value is what gives an image its structure. It's the bones.
It does three really crucial things. It defines the shape and form of objects. It creates this illusion of depth, and it literally guides your eye exactly where the artist wants you to look.
So first up, form. You don't even need lines. Just by shifting from light to dark across the surface, you can take a flat circle and make it feel like a solid three-dimensional sphere. It's how shading breathes life into a subject and gives it real weight.
Next up, depth. Value creates depth using a trick called atmospheric perspective. Just look at this photo. See how the things in the foreground are dark and full of detail? Now, as you look further back, the hills start to fade into these lighter, softer shades of gray. That's exactly how our eyes see things in the real world, and it creates this amazing sense of scale and vastness.
And finally, and this might be the coolest part, value is basically a director. Our eyes automatically, without us even thinking about it, are pulled to the spot with the highest contrast in a picture. That's where the brightest bright is right next to the darkest dark. A master like Anderson knows this, and he uses it to create a focal point, making sure you look right where the heart of the story is.
So how does somebody get this good at the language of light? Well, for Anderson, it's not just about the technical stuff. It's all connected to a much bigger philosophy.
Anderson really believes in the 10,000-hour rule, that idea that it takes about that much practice to become a true master of something. Because he has such an unconventional start, he had to learn everything on the fly, and he was just fueled by that obsession he talked about.
But here it is. This is probably his most profound piece of advice, especially for anyone starting out. He says the real key isn't just to practice taking pictures, it's to put the camera down and go live a life. Travel, meet new people, have different experiences. Because at the end of the day, a good story doesn't come from your camera, it comes from a life that's been fully lived.
And man, you can feel that life experience in every single one of his photos. Just look at this one. It's pure action, pure drama, and it's all told through that powerful clash of light and dark. This isn't just a photo of a fisherman. It's a whole story about struggle and nature and great, all spoken in the language of value.
So, now that you're in on the secret, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Not just in photos. The next movie you watch, the next painting you look at, even just the way the sun sets tonight. Stop and ask yourself, what story are the light and dark telling me right now?